So let me guess, you're in Turkey and you've heard a lot about its diverse and beautiful geography, breathtaking sceneries, and want to do some hiking, some exploring in this country. Well, that's what I'm going to help you with. My name's Can, I'm a hiker from Turkey, and I probably hiked on every single famous trail this country has to offer. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I think I have a pretty good idea which ones are worth your time and which ones you should avoid. But it also depends on your expectations, right? As I said, this country is very diverse in its geography, and this brings us to my next question. What constitutes a good hike? That's a very personal question, but I think I can apply some general criteria such as scenery, facilities, difficulty to filter and rate the trails. Okay, now that it's out of our way, my dear friends who get used to hiking in EU and States, let me give you some tips about hiking in Turkey. First things first, no, you don't need a permit, nor do you have to sign any papers or something like that. If the trail is inside a national park, then you have to pay a small fee in the entrance, and that's it. About facilities, unfortunately, in Turkey, you are not going to be able to find hiking trails with diverse facilities for hikers at certain points. When you are hiking at Swiss Alps, you hike and climb all day, and at the end of the day, you find a nice place on top of the mountain that serves delicious food and rooms with shower, etc. Outdoor tourism in Turkey is not in high regard as it is in certain iconic locations in the rest of the world, like Swiss Alps. So there are no guest houses or huts built specifically to cater hikers in the middle of nowhere. You certainly won't find any of those. Also, almost no emergency shelters, no huts with multiple bunk beds with shared kitchen tools inside. I love those, by the way. In Turkey, it's just you and the nature, plain bare bones hiking. At best, you can take advantage of facilities and villages close to your trail. Natives of these villages noticed the increased tourist attraction over the years and built places that serve food and accommodation services. So in Turkey, hiking trails tend to pass through these villages. I think this somewhat degrades the quality of the trails because hiking trails should be made to include the most breathtaking scenery as a first priority, and facilities should be built next to it, not the other way around. I hope we can improve this in the future. But enough of me complaining, let's start with the list. At number 7 sits the Cappadocia Loop. This loop takes you at every single thing you have to see in the Cappadocia and then some. It was raining when I hiked this, and that added a different flavor to it, and it was awesome. You can click on the card on the right corner to watch my silent hiking film there. The best time to do this hike is spring, because it gets so hot afterwards. This trail is perfect for you if you're not just after the breathtaking sceneries, but the culture and history as well. This region has a unique history that goes thousands of years deep. There are many churches, some underground cities and museums. The houses made inside fairy chimneys are so magical. Also, consider this trail if you are fascinated by geography, because this trail will take you inside carved valleys, and walls of these valleys have layers of rocks with different colors. There are so many interesting rock formations that will make you think you are on another planet. Oh, do I even need to mention the hot air balloons? The transportation to this trail is very easy. There is an airport nearby, and from that airport you can easily find shuttle buses to Cappadocia. The only downside I can think of this location is hotels, cafes and restaurants are expensive as hell. Visitors of this region are mostly foreigners, and since Turkish lira has devalued so much against foreign currencies in the last couple of years, the opportunist locals inflated the prices so much to take advantage of this situation. So much so that it is close to impossible for an average Turkish citizen to eat in a restaurant there, let alone stay in hotels. To the point that it is sometimes even expensive for foreigners. Just don't get scammed, check prices and do some bargaining. A link to GPS record of this trail is available in the video description. At number 6, I want to place the Lycian Way. This is a very long and famous one. If you are a hiker who lives in Turkey, there's a good chance you heard of it. It's a 500 kilometers long trail that offers the best view of southwest Turkey. Since the trail is very famous, it is well maintained and there are signs everywhere. The experience is a mix of everything actually. You get to see the panoramic view of the most beautiful turquoise bays and the beaches, and then the trail will take you all the way down there for a good swim. Then you go through the narrow paths inside the forest, climb up the hills. Of course, not all of it is fun. The trail sometimes takes you to populated areas and you find yourself walking on asphalt roads. When it comes to facilities, you can find many accommodation options as well as places that serve food. Again, thanks to its popularity. But you still have to bring your tent. There are times when you walk like 25 kilometers and still won't find any place to stay. Best time to hike it? I would say spring or fall. Because again, it is too hot in summer. If you don't have a month or so to hike the entire trail and just want to experience the best part of it, I have the perfect thing for you. I think the part between Kabak to Ölüdeniz is the best of Lycian Way has to offer. Of course, others may argue with this, but this is my opinion. And if you click on the card on the right corner, you can go and watch my hiking film that I shot there recently. At number 5 comes the Kaçkar Loop. This trail is for those who want to have similar experience to hiking in Alps. The trail starts at Kavrun village, where you can find accommodation and delicious local food. But how to get to Kavrun? Okay, first you gotta fly to Rize Artvin Airport. From there, make your way to Aydar. You can ask around airport. Depending on the season, you can find a direct transportation or you may need several minibuses to reach it. Once you arrive at Aydar, find minibuses that take you to Kavrun. Let me tell you a bit about this trail. At start, you walk parallel to a river. There are few river crossings, but nothing serious. Then you will reach the glacier lakes. This will take your entire day, by the way. There are several lakes on the foot of the Kaçkar mountain and they all look majestic. This is the first camping spot. You can spend an extra day here, enjoy the scenery, rest, up to you. Next day, the trail takes you towards a mountain pass and there is an amazing view of Kaçkar glaciers on top of it. From there, you go down to Mezovit Meadow and do your second camp. This meadow is surrounded by mountains and there are some oxes living there that are very curious and might damage your tent with their horns if you don't scare them away. They are not aggressive, just curious. And next day you will be descending back to Kavrun, the village where you started. Overall, if you are lucky on this trail, you will see so many mist seas on the slope of mountains, huge glaciers, crystal clear lakes, and these will provide the best views of your life. At number 4, I placed Aladağlar. Aladağlar is the region of Turkey famous with its very high and gorgeous mountains, and it's technically very challenging to climb them. In fact, the Turkish climbing scene is very active in this region. But that doesn't mean you can't hike there. In fact, there are so many cool trails there that take you in between those towering mountains. And this June, I'm going to combine these short trails to make my own Trans Aladağlar hike that is gonna be more than a week long. Until it is done, I can give you the next best thing, my favorite hike from that region. I hiked this trail with my friend in 2020 and it was awesome. You'll walk in barren, rocky mountain passes surrounded by giant peaks. Since it's above certain elevation, there is no vegetation during the most of the trail until you reach the region called Yedigöller. There it's all grassy and there are several lakes. Also, once you start hiking, there won't be any trace of civilization. It's all mountains, no electricity, no villages. To have an idea how it looks, you can watch my hiking video from that region. Just click the card on the right corner of the screen. Let me also give you tips about transportation. First, you have to make your way to Niğde by bus. And from Niğde bus station, you need to take Çamardı minibus. When you are in Çamardı, you can contact people who provide transportation service up to camping locations where the trail starts. You can find contact information on one of those people in the video description. If you go in the middle of summer or fall, the water sources will be scarce in this region because the main water source is the melting snow. So take several liters of water just to be sure. At the third spot, we see Hakkari. This city is almost at the most southeastern point of Turkey. You've probably read some scary things about it on social media. If you haven't, let me summarize it. There has been some clashes between Turkish armed forces and PKK in the region for years, but those are subsided now. there is a very big military presence in the area by Turkish army. There will be checkpoints, like every 10 minutes or so. Soldiers will step in buses and ask for your ID. You will see military convoys, soldiers carrying rifles everywhere, but active clashes are a thing of the past. These are just for precaution. I went there and I saw that it was safe. Now that we got it out of the way, there are two places you can hike in Hakkari. First location is the hike to Cennet and Cehennem Valley, meaning Heaven and Hell Valley. In the end of this valley, you will see a glacier, and it's the longest glacier in Turkey. There is also a beautiful waterfall there. Unfortunately, the glacier is melting at a very rapid rate due to climate change, and cracks are forming on it, so it's very dangerous to walk on it during summer. You can see me walking in my hiking video, but it was in early June, so the glacier was still stable. Technically, this has to be a single-day hike because you're not allowed to camp in Cennet and Cehennem Valley, but I did it anyways. Your mileage may vary though. Soldiers might come and tell you to clear the area, so maybe it's best to hitchhike back with the people who visit the area and stay at a hotel in Hakkari. The second location in Hakkari is Berçelan. You need a private transportation to reach there. You can legally camp there and next day go hike glacier lakes around the region, pass through the meadows full of flowers, cross gentle flowing rivers. It's amazing. The transportation to Hakkari is a bit tricky if you don't have a car. The way I did was I catched a bus from my home city Mersin to Hakkari and asked the driver to drop me on the road next to a village before arriving the city center. I found this village on Google Maps while planning the hike at home. From this village, I made my way to Cennet and Cehennem Valley. There's a clear road, but to Berçelan, you need a private transportation. Number 2, Macahel. This name is given to the region by the natives, and it is located at the northwest Turkey, right next to Georgia. I suspect this name has Georgian origins, since this region was home to Georgians long time ago, and current inhabitants of the region are actually ethnically Georgian. They speak both Georgian and Turkish, but of course they are Turkish citizens. And that's the richness of Turkey. There are so many ethnically different people live in this country, and I love it. This trail is so magnificent that I can hardly find words to describe it. I think I'm biased towards the northeast Turkey, the region we call Karadeniz. I think it is the most beautiful place in all Turkey, and this trail is just screaming Karadeniz. To reach here, take a bus to Borçka town in Artvin, and in Borçka, you need to take a cab to Borçka Karagöl Natural Park. This is where you start the trail. Karagöl means Black Lake, and you will see it immediately. There's a trail surrounding the lake. It's beautiful, but it's also a bit too popular and crowded for my taste, so I didn't bother camping there. Then you follow roads up to Klaskur village. The road is going through indigenous pine forest that is almost always full of mist. And then you arrive to this beautiful hotel called Satibe with amazing view of the Karagöl. You can stay inside or camp next to it. It has solar panels for electricity and serve local delicacies. Keep following the trail and you will reach to Beyazsu village, founded on the foot of Kartal mountain. The mist coming and going throughout the day will create most serene and dreamy views you'll ever see. You will find many accommodation options in this village, and you can go climbing to Kartal mountain the next day, see glacier lakes, or continue to the next village. It's up to you. Rest of the trail will take you right up to the Georgian border. Number 1 is İspir Yedigöller. I think this is the most aesthetically pleasing hiking trail in all Turkey. Why? Because look at this and tell me that this is something you can see every day. I spent an entire day trying to shoot this place, and I still think my footages aren't doing it justice. If I ever go back, which I will, I'm gonna spend here an entire week shooting the crap out of it. Seriously, you have to see it with your own eyes. I prepared an itinerary that starts at this location, then I was going to climb the numerous mountain passes and go all the way inside Karadeniz region. But my shoes started hurting my feet so bad that I had to bail out in the middle. There were so many things I wanted to capture, but still, I think it was the most amazing hiking experience that I've ever had in Turkey. I think it has to do with my timing as well. I went there in late July and snow was mostly gone. Some of it was still available, melting slowly. And the vegetation, the purple flowers, the mist, the elevation difference, rivers, lakes, butterflies, they were just perfect. And finally, of course, the transportation info for this hike. Fly to Rize Artvin Airport. From there, go to Rize City. From Rize bus station, take the İspir bus. While you are on the bus, tell the driver to drop you at Çayırözü village. That's where you'll start your hike. You can check the video description for detailed GPS. If you are living abroad, interested in visiting Turkey and looking for a guide fluent in English, who also experienced in hiking in the regions I just mentioned, hit me up on Instagram. I'll do my best to answer your questions and perhaps accompany you in your next adventure.